Hi, my name is Phil. I live in the Netherlands and we had elections last November. The elections were won by the PVV, and that is a party which is most far on the right in the spectrum of the Netherlands. I started to work on an update last week, but that has turned into a special. It is about the Congress the VVD held, not last Saturday, but the Saturday before that. It turned into a special because with the VVD I can look back on years of politics, and although I also need to say that this is not a Dutch thing, we see it now in a whole lot of countries in Europe. I'm still working on that special, and I thought, well, things are still happening, so let's do a quick and dirty news update. And with quick, I mean I'm just going to throw some topics at you. And with dirty, I mean I'm not going to explain a lot. And this will not be one take, but as much as possible. Okay, one thing you do need to know is that to gain a majority in the parliament in the Netherlands, you need to form a coalition. Even when you have one, you don't have enough seats to take lead all by yourself. There are too many parties in the parliament, and that is only growing, and those smaller parties are also growing. So more parties are needed to form a coalition. There are now 4 parties who are investigating whether they might want to become a coalition and want to start real negotiations, because this is just investigative, and they are doing that with an informateur. I don't have an English name for it, but it is a person who is facilitating those talks, making it possible. The 4 parties I'm talking about is PVV, the VVD, I already mentioned the VVD, a liberal party, liberal and conservative party, the NSC, New Social Contract, and the BBB, that is the Farmer Citizen Party, and they will get into the news quite a bit since the farmer protests here in the Netherlands are back as well. Okay, so far they have had radio silence until just a few weeks ago. So we can say something about what is happening, and on Friday the report of the informateur will be published, or maybe Monday, but soon. And then we will know what is going to happen, whether those parties are willing to start the real negotiations or not. And a lot of people are looking forward to that. What we get is that those talks are tough. We already anticipated that, so that is nothing new, but it has been admitted now by the parties themselves as well. They don't agree on a lot. Actually, they don't agree on anything, even immigration in this case, is a hot topic. All 4 parties have their own ideas about it, although they all want to reduce the influx of people coming in. But what seems to be a big issue is finances, where the PVV wants to spend money, the VVD wants to cut costs. And the last is also advised by the CEO of our national bank, Klaas Knot. He is talking about 17 billion. And for a country with only 18 million citizens, that's quite a lot. And for the PVV, this is important because they have been promising quite a bit, which does cost money. I also understand that the NSA is really wondering whether they should step into a coalition. It's a brand new party. Only the leader has 17 years of experience in the second chamber, but the rest is brand new, and it takes a while before you start to understand how things work in the parliament, what you can best do and not do. It's always a risk to step into a coalition. Having said that, in this case, it's also a risk not to do that. And that is because there is probably no other solution possible for the Netherlands. When elections would take place today, the PVV is going to grow to 50 seats, or has a possibility to grow to 50 seats, and that is 13 more than they now have. So they grow from 37 to 50, and most of those seats are coming from the VVD. It simply means that the Dutch people didn't change their minds. They want this cabinet to happen. So what can you do? And as I already mentioned, immigration is different for all the four parties. Where the PVV is actually talking about Muslims and Islam, asylum seekers, the other parties, or at least two of them, the VVD and the NSA, are more talking about the whole of immigration. That is not just asylum seekers, that is actually a pretty small part of the whole immigration. You need to think about people who come here to work, and that might be from the EU, and we can't stop that. There is a so-called Schengen agreement who guarantees free traffic. We don't have borders anymore. But you can also think about expats. You can also think about students. Those groups are far bigger than the asylum seekers. And what is, for instance, important for the NSA is that this group is so big that they are pushing on the housing market. And that housing market is under pressure as it already is. And that has not much to do with asylum seekers. Then there is one thing I would like to mention, although I think it is not really important, but Mona Keizer of the BBB, the Farmer Citizen Party, has suggested to send the Ukrainians back to safer parts of the Ukraine. It is probably not that important because most other parties don't feel that there is a place in Ukraine that is really safe. I mean, bombardments are everywhere, even in the west, in Lviv. I said this was going to be quick and dirty. I do hope, though, that you learned something new, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye.